Your mother had several miscarriages before Ereshkigal. So did I. Yoda.
Oh, that.
Good morning.
Making me retrograde.
Peace and blessings, family.
I
Good
see
morning.
people are already.
Good morning.
Oh my goodness.
People are coming in. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. That sounds like
Mother Mo.
Morning.
I knew it. Good morning.
Today,
Good
girl.
morning, Teresa.
Good morning.
Can't see everybody. Let's see. Good morning, Sandy. See who else we have here. Stacy, Jacqueline, Mama.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Grand Rising. Peace and blessings, everyone. Get a, if you can, a bottle or glass of water. I have my ginger tea. Get your tea. And a pen, a paper, and just bring yourselves to this workshop called Innerstanding. In order to understand, you must first innerstand. Thank you for being here, everyone. Good morning.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Grand Rising, everyone. How are you today? Grand Rising. I am Robin St. Clair, the Cycle Breaker, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about innerstanding. And so, innerstanding, we'll get into the meaning of that, but in order to understand, we must first innerstand. Again, I'm Robin St. Clair. I am a healer, a priestess, an author. I am a cycle breaker, and a cycle breaker is one who takes a look at my past, or we are cycle breakers, so it takes a look at the past to figure out what to do in the present in order to create new legacies for the future. And we will get into that as well. Kenyoko, can you just share the next slide? We're gonna just dive right in. This is not my first time here with you all, and I want to open this up, paying homage to our ancestors, for those who have gone on before us. And I ask that each of you just acknowledge, if you don't acknowledge already, that our ancestors who walked this path or stood before we did, the work that they did was never in vain. The work that they did on this plane in their humanness is nothing compared to the work that they can do on the other side, as an ancestor, and how they could support us, they can bless us, and they can guide us when we call on them, because not even when we call on them, even if we don't call on them, because just as supportive as they was here, they can do so much more in the ancestral world. So we pay homage to our ancestors because we want them to know that we know. We pay homage to our ancestors because we are grateful to them. We pay homage to our ancestors because we need them in order to continue on our journey. So I love the way that these things are set up here. So honor your ancestors, and we praise them. But we don't praise them. We pay homage to them. When we pay tribute to them, it's like watering the garden of our souls. That's deep. And we wake up to understand them, right? So understanding how the ancestors work in our lives, understanding that our lineage is what it is, that our people came from overseas, and that they have a story, just like we have a story. That sometimes their stories weren't able to be told. That sometimes we can't tell our stories because we don't know the origin of where they come from. Sometimes the stories that we live and sometimes the stories that we tell are those stories that were given to us by other people. So in this particular session, we're going to give homage to our ancestors. So I'm going to start by paying homage to God, because without God, with God, we can do all things, and without God, we are confused walking around. So I pay homage to God. I pay homage to all of those who came before us. I pay homage to all forces of nature. I pay homage to the mothers and the babies that didn't make it. I pay homage to the fathers that didn't get to be the protectors. I pay homage to the children who were motherless, were fatherless. And I ask that you put in the chat who you pay homage to for the work that you do, the inner work that you do. Put in the chat who you pay homage to, who you remember, who you call forth, whose death was never in vain. And I call the name of Pecola St. Clair, my grandmother. I call the name of Roderick Pearson, my father. I call the name of Cecilia Pullen St. Clair and Kinchin Solomon. Cecilia Pullen Solomon and Kinchin Solomon. I call the name of all of my ancestors, those who I know and those who I don't know. Those of light that walk with me, talk with me, that guide me, that bless me. And I give thanks. Ashe. Did somebody say Robin?
No, it's just background noise here.
Okay, got it. So did people put in the chat who they're paying homage to? The mothers, fathers, brothers?
You're dropping it in.
Okay, great. And continue to drop it in, because we want to continue to keep them in the space, and we want to continue to ask them for their blessings, guidance, and support. And so you can take the slide down for now, Kenyofu, and let's just have a conversation. Greetings, everyone. Oh, look at all of y'all beautiful faces. So today, as I said, we're going to talk about innerstanding. I would like to talk to somebody about what ancestral paying homage to our ancestors means to you. If you've never done that before, that's fine, but I want somebody to come on and just share with me how you do that or why you don't.
I can start us off, Ia, and then we
Thank
can
you.
others come on. Just prime the pump. So I know that growing up in the church, when I was a child and into my adulthood, you got me cracking up. You regulating in your house. You're like, wait a minute, get out this room.
Yeah, I saw them videos.
Yeah, so growing up in the church, which I did in the Baptist church, there was lots of homage paying. Like, we did a lot of ritual for Christ and, doing the communion. When you read scripture, there's a scripture that lays out the entire lineage that led up to actual like Christ, like all those who came before them. So I was experiencing that, but also the juxtaposition was being told that speaking about those who had passed on, spirits, that was unacceptable. So I was two-headed about it. It's like no ancestor worship, no idolatry, no. So it was weird because I'm seeing all of this happening and the names of folks who have passed on being spoken all the time in the biblical sense, but in my real life, folks calling that demonic and
Right.
telling me that I should be afraid. So I would say 25 years ago, you and I both were involved with the same church community that venerated the ancestors. And so my whole position around calling their names, pouring libation shifted, and I'm so great. But before that, it was like this scary thing that you should not do.
Right. Thank you for putting that in the space, EI, because sometimes we're not honest, right? Like, so we have family loyalty. And sometimes we are afraid, we as a people, I'm talking about, are afraid to say some of the things that led to some non-supportive beliefs that we have. And then we find out new things and we don't want to talk about how challenging it is to step into it. So I appreciate you for saying that, because I too was taught that some of the rituals, the ritualistic ways that we had were demonic. And now that I am in the seat that I'm in now, getting to know myself now, know my ancestry more, and know my lineage and what it means to be an African American, but an African. Like, I was lied to, but my ancestors didn't know that they were lying. They were doing the best that they can do. And so anybody else want to come on before I go further and talk about that? Teresa, your people.
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Thank you,
Excuse me.
Mama.
So good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to community. For years, I've been honoring our ancestors because the church that I belonged to was very progressive, and we would pour libation for our ancestors. I was prior to that, I was brought up as a Catholic, and as Shawnee was saying, yeah, that was just something that wasn't done. But I went to Mobile, Alabama last year. Last year, and visited the Legacy Museum. And wait a minute. From that visit, and to see what our people endured, now pouring libation has taken on a whole new different meaning. It's more like thank you, because we are because we are where we are right now and moving forward because of your sacrifice. So it was really emotional, and it still is. But that's why now taking on the pouring a libation and remembering ancestors is so profound for me.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you so much. And pouring of libations on this platform. Yeah, Shawnee says that when we cry, it's our libations, like we're offering libation, and it's the same concept, right? So pouring libations for those who have gone before us, and just honoring them in all kinds of ways. Pouring the water for cleansing, pouring the water for flow, pouring the water for to continue to elevate and uplift all of those who have come before us. So I would be remiss if I did not start this particular session without giving homage to the ancestors and those who have gone before us, those we know, those we don't know, those who are biologically connected to us, and those icons who have gone before us, the icons, the women, the men who have fought, who have laid down, and who have continued this journey. And I shared before that I have a 7-step healing process that I facilitate to my clients. It's called Educate. And so Educate is an acronym for first taking an examination of your life. That's looking back in order to gain wisdom to move forward. focusing on your desires, what you really want, not what someone told you, and gaining an understanding of what you can and you cannot do to change, to shift, to move forward, communicating from your heart, not your head, but communicating from your heart to the heart of the world and the heart of the matter, and then asking for what you want, boldly advocating for why you're worth it, teaching by example, teaching people how to treat you, teaching people how to be with you, and teaching being a demonstration of who it is you're becoming and what it is you want. And then finally enlightening yourself by going through the process and empowering other people and teaching them the process as well. I want to focus on the third step today, understanding. And in order to understand, first, innerstand. And so for this particular workshop, what we're going to focus on is how to powerfully set goals by understanding how to do that. And I'll go into it a little bit more, but I want to go into the slide, Kenyofu, so you'll see a little bit about what I'm talking about. There's levels to how to create goals for yourself, how to stand in it. Okay, so normally when I share my workshops, I share an intention statement, right? And so mostly it's for me. When I'm setting an intention statement, I'm like being focused on what the goal is. And I'm saying, this is what I want to experience. And I also want this experience for the participants who are a part of any workshop. Today, the same thing, but I want to focus on what comes first. And so we're going to focus on declarations, intentions, and affirmations. And so I'm going to ask somebody to read this first, and then I will ask questions. So can someone come on to read the declarations portion of this?
Yeah, let's call on folks. Yeah, it makes it easier to manage the stage.
Sure. I can't see everyone, so if you would do that, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Imani, are you raising your hand to read, or is that, or Alicia? I see a hand raised and I see it unmuted. Alicia, come back on. Oh, who's that? Imani, you said you read?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Thank you, girl.
Hey, Imani, go ahead, girl.
Okay. Declarations. I surrender my anointed and appointed truth as an expression of the Creator. I acknowledge my growth and affirm my steps, the small steps, the major steps, and the steps I've yet to take. I appreciate myself for choosing me.
Okay, let's stop right there for a second, Imani. So when you read that, do any of the sentences, any of the statements resonate for you in your journey, on your journey?
I want to say, I appreciate myself for choosing me.
That's the one that spoke to you. And so when you say appreciate yourself for choosing me, how did you choose you?
Um,
Or how are you choosing you?
right now, I'm choosing me by just small rituals that I've incorporated in the mornings just to love on myself. And I've been doing that for about 2 weeks without fail. And I'm choosing me, as you know, when I show up for different events and workshops that have been put on.
Okay, thank you, Imani. I will come back to the question, and I thank you for reading that and for sharing so vulnerably how you choosing yourself and for making a declaration. Thank you. Can we have somebody to read the intention statement? Yeah.
Sure. All right, let's see what we're working with here.
Zakia, can we call on her? She said it all resonates with her, so I want to go to her for the intention.
Beautiful. Go ahead.
Zakia?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how you doing today, sis?
Blessed always. Greetings, family.
Good. So can you read the intention statement the way it lives for you?
It is my most sincere and heartfelt intention to experience, express, and stand in my truth, as a powerful expression of the Creator.
And when you read that, Zakia, how do you interpret the sentence first? How do you interpret that statement?
Being my most sincere, my most.
So let me just say this: to experience, that's the inner feelings. To express,
Yes.
that's how you outwardly show it, demonstrate it.
Yes, to be my most powerful self,
Mm-hmm.
my most loving, giving, and serving self.
Your loving, giving, and serving self. And what name 2 things that you would do in your loving, giving ways of yourself?
I'm actually doing one of them right now. I'm helping my daughter navigate this insanity that they're calling a school system right now. At her in her space so that I can help her with her children. And it's challenging.
It's challenging.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, we're all growing as a result.
Mm-hmm.
Some doing it, fighting and screaming and kicking, and others like myself taking the time afterwards to absorb and process.
Okay. Thank you. Hold that thought, because I want to show you how these 3 work together, but also ask you how they're working together for you. But I need somebody to read the affirmation piece first. Thank you, Z. I don't see any more names.
You only see the, you can't see the whole affirmation piece.
You can't. Okay, there's 3. You can't see them?
I can, no, you can only see the top of the affirmation. Maybe if you make it smaller.
The affirmations are, I'll read them. I am enough. I am doing the best that I can, and my best is enough. I am committed to standing in my truth with gratitude, power, purpose, and passion. Those are the affirmations. So Shoni says she is enough. Why would I say that? You could take it down, Kenyofa, so I can talk for a second.
One sec. I'm typing affirmations. That's why I put that in there so people
Got you.
Mm-hmm. So just keep it up a little while longer. Yeah, you can keep talking.
Yeah, I wanted to share, and actually we'll keep it up and go to the next slide too. I wanted to keep it up so we can talk about so we talked about Zakia and what she's doing in her daughter's school. We talked to Imani and how she's standing in her truth and choosing herself. And so each of you, even though you read a certain portion of this particular slide, all three of these dynamics, all 3 of these principles are what is needed to manifest what you want. So the declarations, we're going to go, you ready for me to go to the next slide, yeah?
One sec. I just want to
Sorry.
get No, it's okay.
So put in the chat what you think a declaration is. How about that? What do you think a declaration is? How do you define declaration? What it does, what it is?
Let me see if I can see.
What is an intention? And what is an affirmation, and how does it live for you? Do you know what it is? We call out words. We throw things out into the universe easily and effortlessly without even knowing what they mean. Somebody said a declaration was a bold statement of truth. I think I may be confused with declaration intention. Good, Imani. Declaration and intention. So they're both very similar. There's slight distinctions. Jacqueline said an announcement. Which one is announcement, Jacqueline? Jacqueline, which one is an announcement? The declaration is an announcement. Okay. Declarations are statements of what is what is and what is desired. Okay. How about intention? How about what's the distinction between declaration and intention? How do you use these tools? Intention is a commitment to take for action to be taken. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go through an exercise on how to boldly declare what we want, set an intention for it to happen, and then affirm that it's done. And so who wants to work with me on doing just that? Who has a burning desire to manifest something that you've not manifested yet, something that you want to do that you haven't done yet, that you're scared, you're either scared to put out into the universe, or for whatever reason, you haven't yet manifested that thing and you haven't yet declared to the world that you're ready to do it? Who would like to volunteer to come on to share some of that? Y'all know I got to pick on y'all, only because this slide is here. That's why I can't see y'all, but let me see stuff.
All right, let's see. Yeah. Well, Theodora was already unmuted. She didn't get a chance to read.
Ooh,
So
Hi,
come on.
Theodora.
good morning.
Love
Good
Africa.
morning.
Um,
Can we take the slide down so I can see her, please?
okay. I guess for
Thank you.
me, I'm sorry, I have to move that over. I have retired. I am 75.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm in limbo. All the years, you know, in my time, we didn't talk so much about goals. And I remember thinking one time that, you know, I strive to do something, I get to that point, and then I have to reset. So it was resetting goals, but in my day, they didn't talk so much about goals.
Mm-hmm.
We learned the word goals. You just did it. You just set something you wanted, or you put your mind on something you wanted and you work towards it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess now I'm retired and I'm kind of in limbo.
Okay. Do you know what you want?
I don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
You don't know what you want to be when you grow up. Okay. So what you're working on is trying to figure out what it is that you want, like what your desires are?
Yes, which way, you know, I'm that Gemini. I can do different things, and I do different things, you know. I can sew, I can crochet, I can, you know, it's like that, but it's too many. You have to stop and bring it back and focus on one thing.
Uh-huh.
And I guess right now I'm in a little bit of a limbo.
You're in limbo and knowing what to focus on. I'm asking.
Right, yes.
So you know who it is, you know what you're good at, which is many,
Yeah.
many things. And now in your
Yeah.
retired state of being, you don't know what to do. I'm trying to get clarity on what you're getting clarity on.
I guess I need to reset a goal, something to focus on, to work towards, I guess.
And why do you feel you need to do that?
I don't know, just have purpose. I don't think you should just, it's just like you're floating, you know, I get up in the morning and I'm going to do this. And sometimes it's like 4 or 5 o'clock before I even get dressed to go outside. Unless I have an appointment to do something.
Okay, so some of the things that you said is, I don't think you should. You used the word purpose, and you think you should be focused on a goal, or you want to be focused on a goal. It's different.
I want to be. I want to be focused.
The purpose of what?
I think for me, I think when I'm focused on doing something, it gives me more of a structure or a purpose or a direction.
Mm-hmm. Do you know your purpose in life?
I think it's my purpose right now in life is to be there for my grandchildren, which I have many of. and my great grands, but basically the ones that are totally right around me, which I do, which I am a backup for.
Okay, so are you already doing what you're set out to do? Your focus is to focus on your grandchildren, but you want to focus on, huh?
I do that, but that's, I don't know if I can explain it. That's not set for me. Sometimes I think I'm like in a little bit of a depression. I guess it's all of,
Okay.
I recognize that some days I am.
Depressed.
I would say so, but not depressed, not like don't feel like I'm clinically depressed, but just down.
Is it unfulfilled?
Maybe that's,
okay.
That might be the word.
Okay, so is what you want to feel fulfilled? Is fulfilled what you want to feel?
Yeah, I guess that might be it.
I don't want to put that in your head if that's not it, but I
understand what I can't.
You're doing great. I'm purposely asking you the questions that I'm asking so you can think about it more and feel it.
Yeah. I'm busy.
I got that.
It's not that you're not busy.
Okay, I'm going to ask Kinyofu, stay with me, but I'm going to ask Kinyofu to put that slide back up, okay? Just for as a guide for us, okay? So for maybe a minute or two, Kinyofu. So stay with me, Theodora. Okay, are you good? You okay? You with me right now?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. So can you, Theodora, read the declarations?
Yes. I surrender my anointed and appointed truth as an expression of
I surrender
of truth.
No, I surrender to. The words, every word matters. So I surrender to. You said I surrender my anointed and appointed. You giving up your whole self.
Okay.
Right.
I surrender my anointed and appointed truth as an expression of, and I can't read the words behind.
Yeah, it says
of the creator.
Yeah. So let's stop.
I acknowledge.
Wait, before you go, does that sentence mean anything to you? I'm wordy, and maybe you don't talk like that, but does that sentence resonate with you? With everything you said? Why does it resonate?
Yes.
Or how does it resonate?
Because I believe in a higher person, I believe in God.
Okay.
And I believe that he's with me every day, all day, and I talk to him every day, all day. When I'm good and when I'm bad. So I believe that without that higher power, I can do nothing.
So this particular statement,
I surrendered to my anointed and appointed truth as an expression. Yeah.
What about that part? Surrender to my anointed and appointed truth.
Yeah, I think so.
But what does that mean to you?
Let me just say, in this series, I joined this series in May. That maybe the beginning of May, I've been following, not every day, but following.
I see you.
And I've unpacked a lot of things that from childhood that have kind of held you back, or that you had to let go of. But God has always been uppermost and has gotten me through so many things. So my anointed self, I'm very involved in my church and different things that, but
What about your appointed self? Do you know what that part of the statement means? You talked about all of your gifts, right? And you talk about all of the things that you do, and now you're a sage taking care of your grandchildren, all of your grandchildren. And what you said that you're retired, and that
yeah,
right, you're retired now, so now you get to spend more time with your grandchildren. You just said that you're in your church. You said you know God, but who are you as an expression of God? You have all of these different gifts and talents, and you don't know which one to focus on. I heard you talk a little bit about some of your past, but who are you as an expression of God?
I think that's a lot of what I'm learning.
Ashe. Ashe. And the part about the surrender, right? So I'll share a little bit about my process, also learning who I am as an expression of God. When I was told who I was, I believed it by several different people. When I wanted to be, when I was in several circles, many circles, I'm in a part of a lot of circles, and I wanted to be liked. I made up who I needed to be and didn't see myself or know myself as an expression of God. And my family, where each of us are connected and related, there is still that dynamic of the roles that we play in our family, right? And so as the good girl and the first grandchild, there's a posture and a behavior that it was expected to come from me. But that didn't always mean that that's who I felt I needed to be. The good girl, I ain't good. But the smart girl, always coming home with a certain amount of grace. I wanted the expectations that were placed on me by others, I bought into. And I did not feel fulfilled all of the time. I'm talking about as I grew up. I did not feel fulfilled, but I didn't know who I was because I was so busy being everything to everybody the way they needed me to be. So that piece on surrender, because trust me, y'all, everything that I offer on this platform or anywhere else is for me first. So when I surrender to my anointed and my appointed truth as an expression of God, I am no longer focused on what he said, she said, they said, or who they think I need to be for them. Now I'm focused on the anointing that God has on me. So I want you to focus on that, the anointing that he has on you. You've been in circles, you're in your church. You have all of these gifts and talents and all of these things that you can do. Why would God give that gift to you? To have so many different ways of being, right? And then appointed, that piece right there, like who are you supposed to work with? What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to serve? You said your grandchildren. That's your purpose right now, your grandchildren. That's powerful. And there's a why to that. Why you think you need to be that for your grandchildren?
I think because in this day and time, is the focus on is different, and the children are different, and I think sometimes they need to learn some old-fashioned values.
Thank you.
That you can put into them and let them see the possibilities of what life could be. It's not all hip hop and, pants hanging down and all of those things. I want them to see the possibilities of what life could be and what they can be. And I guess my mom was the matriarch of the family, and I'm the matriarch of my family. So it's and it's a lot.
It's a lot.
But it's nothing that,
It's a lot, you said. You said it's a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
You also
I
said
raised my
busy.
children as a single.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You said earlier that you're busy.
Yeah.
Single parent. So just surrendering.
Too many organizations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so your purpose, you said, is your grandchildren, right?
Yeah. Part of my purpose is my grandchildren. Yes.
So your purpose is about you. You are aware of that, right?
Right. It's more about me than it's about me becoming the best me.
Yeah, it's about you, and your grandchildren can be the benefit of your purpose.
Right.
But what about your grandchildren has to do with your purpose? What does your purpose have to do with your grandchildren?
When you say, well, I want to be, when you say, what does my purpose have to do with my grandchildren?
How do you impact them? How do you touch, move, and inspire them? What about you is a blessing
yesterday,
to your
yesterday, I belong to different organizations, and National Council of Negro Women, we had a breast cancer walk yesterday, and they're starting a youth group, and I took my granddaughter, who's 13, with me yesterday to join, and she had a great day, and to see, you know, something different, and to be involved in something different, and for her, she said it was positive.
What was
so
positive?
It's being around the people that were out yesterday, and the other young people that are going to be in her group. She got to meet some of them, and the person that's leading her group. And so those are the things I want to instill, that they can see something different than just hanging out in the street.
But Miss Theodora, what is that? What is that for you? Like, name it.
I guess it would be like a positive influence on them.
Okay. Your purpose is has to do with being a positive influence. And so what you would do anywhere is what you would do everywhere. So I would offer that when you think about who you are and what your purpose is. It may be that you support your grandchildren, but that may be also who you showed up as on your job. It may also be who you showed up in as your family, and who you showed up as in your family as you were growing up, how you showed up in school. Am I confusing you more, Miss Theodora?
No, it's true.
Okay, but have you probably, it's okay if you don't know what your purpose is. I don't want to put words into your mouth about what your purpose is, but I want to be clear that in order to understand what your purpose is, you have to first identify who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You have to identify what your anointing is.
Okay.
What you, help me, Shawnee.
Yeah, your divine life path. Yeah, there definitely has to be a grounding and an understanding. I'm just going to share my observation, and also just making sure that the community sees themselves in this communication. Otherwise, it can occur as, oh, that's them talking over there.
Yes, thank you.
Conversation. So just inviting Aquia, Alicia, Amal, Charmaine, Cynthia, Evelyn, Imani, Inez, like all of the folks in this space, to recognize that this conversation is your conversation, right? So just saying that first. But my observation is that, Theodora, there's a posture of getting things right. And so, for me, as far as my observation, like, yeah, Robin will ask a question, and it seems like you go into a zone of like, I better know this answer. I have to figure this out. I have to know it. And that definitely blocks and stops flow.
No, I'm actually absolutely thinking about the question, not trying to get the right answer, thinking within myself to try and give her an answer, but not that it has to be the right answer, but
you
the
never
truthful
thought about the question.
Right.
Yeah. And I hear you. And what I'm saying is that Robin and you are co-creating. So if you be with her, and definitely think about what she's asking you and be present. But there's something about that. And I trust my intuition. I know what my purpose is. So when I hear and experience certain energies and stuff, like I go with what I pick up. And I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm just offering you in these 75 years how you've shown up in that body and how you've negotiated spaces. And, you know, I don't know what your work in the world is, but it has been. You said you retired.
I'm a nurse.
Oh, Lord. Right. So that's awesome.
That all goes into
several areas. Finishing up in ICU. I still work some part-time. I'm a nurse.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna say this last bit and let you continue. That just yes or no, Theodora. You don't have to think, but just yes or no. Were you called to that work, or were you conditioned to do the work?
I did not go into nursing until I was 27. As a child, I always wanted to be a
I was just saying yes or no. All right, so let me.
I was called. I wasn't conditioned.
All right. Okay.
That was my that was something I always wanted to do.
All right, got it.
So it was your...
Got it. But in this society, sometimes, like I declared I wanted to be a doctor, right? You're 75, I'm 52. When I was growing up, there were only a handful of things that were considered prestigious to do. And so when I was asked what I wanted to do, healer never crossed my mind because it was never presented to me. There was doctor, nurse, lawyer, teacher, you know, or get a good job in the public sector. I mean, the public sector, you know, the post office. That's a good job with benefits. So I just want to make sure that we're clear. You said that's always what I wanted to do. That doesn't mean that was what you were called to do, right? So is it a calling, or was it, this is what I was conditioned to believe that this is the thing to pursue because of, so I got you. So I'm seeing you with the nonverbal response. That's great. So when E.R. Robin asked,
I loved nursing. I loved working with people. I worked in clinics as well as in different areas, and the clinics that I worked in was what I loved the most.
Okay, great. So what I do in parts of it is transferable in a lot of different spaces. So if you love nursing and you love to care for people, what's the confusion about what's next?
Well, I guess I still do that all the time in one way or another. I guess for me, I'm just like, I guess I'm just in a limbo. That's all. Right now, I'm in a limbo.
In a limbo because you don't feel fulfilled?
That might be it. I can't give an answer if I don't know it.
I understand. And that's where the innerstanding piece comes in, right? So
I can't give an answer if I'm not trying to give you a pat answer.
Yeah, I don't want you to.
I have an answer to that right now.
I don't want you to. I do want you to go deeper, and I want you to think. So, I mean, I want you to get inside and feel. So I'm going to just say thank you. And you have some questions to ponder. You have some life work to consider. And in your 73 years, 75? 5 years. What is that, tricentennial? In your 75 years.
Tricentennial, we have for 300 years old, yeah.
Oh, okay, you know, I don't know numbers. Well, it means, what is something? What's 75? How do you say that?
3/4 of a century.
Three-quarters of a century. Thank you. There was 100 in there somewhere. Okay. Thank you, Theodora, for your 3/4 of a century. I already acknowledge you as a wise sage. So I want you to see who you are as your grandma, who you were as a nurse, and who you are now in your state of being retired, all fits into one another. Because once you find the answer to the common answer to all three of those things, who you were as a nurse when you were serving people, who you are as a grandmother when you're leading, guiding, and supporting your grandchildren and keeping the traditions that you said you want to keep alive in them alive. And also well, which really would be the first thing, focusing on you and where you feel content, because you have served, sis. You have served. And now you get to serve yourself in the same way that you serve others. And so going back to the declaration piece, the declaration is a bold statement. You can put that slide up right now. Thank you, Theodora, for your vulnerability and transparency. There is more, but we're going to give other people a chance to also process. And I thank you for being a demonstration, being our elder, being the wise sage, and just being a demonstration of what it looks like when we know, but we don't know, and we don't know if we don't know. That's all right. There's levels to this ish, right? So thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, Theodora, you don't have to come back on and speak because we're moving ahead. I want you to consider, if you would, how being a nurse has put you in a box. Because when I think about nursing in the sense of these United States, it's very methodical. This is what you do for this and that. And sometimes there's no space for spontaneity and flexibility. And so if you're a healer, which I consider a nurse to be, then there's more free flow. So considering releasing some parts of your training that may be limiting you from declaring what it is that's next for you. So I just wanted to put that out there because that just came to me. Like release some of the structures. And it's very, very masculine too, that have locked you into this is the way you do X, Y, and Z, because there's a lot more than meets the eye, and there's a lot more beyond what they trained you in school to do regarding care and healing. So go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Thank you for that too, Ia. And it's okay to ask for support, right? So I want to just say that too, Theodora. I needed to ask for her support just now. Yeah, Shorty's support right now, because we are reflections of one another, and the same place that you are in your life where you're discerning who you are and where fulfillment lives for you rather than serving the world is where I am. So when we become the reflections that look into the same mirror, it is necessary for us to ask for support. So that for everyone is what just happened here. So I hope that that's clear. But the piece that I want to talk about regarding the declarations here that I would offer to you that you really think about for yourself, Theodora, is I appreciate myself for choosing me. And just reflect on whether or not you have chosen you. In honor of time, I just want to thank those that were here, that are here on the line. If you have to go, we appreciate you for coming on. It is now 7:54, so we have 6 minutes to 8. So if you have to go, I just thank you for your energy. Thank you for your essence. Thank you for your presence. And we hope that you will catch the review on Facebook. There will be, the whole playback will be on Facebook. And thank you for coming. The intention statement, the affirmation. I want to just go to the next slide before saying anything else. Okay. In order for you to get what you want, for us to get what we want, in order for us to really get to the core of what it is that we want to understand, or what we want to manifest rather, we have to apply the tools of reality creation. Those tools are desire, imagine, expect. And the spirit works with me with acronyms. So the acronym is DIE. But when you think about DIE, there's so many different things that we can die to. We can die to the stories, die to the lies, die to the energy that no longer serves us. And so declaration, here are the definitions of them. The declaration is the what. It's a bold statement, and some of you said that already. It's a proclamation. That's what we set out to do, what we say we're going to do. The intention is how we're going to carry that declaration out. Both require conscious choice. We have to be able to call a thing a thing. We have to be able to know what it is that we want to do or how we want to be before we can even go into the others. And someone said in the chat that all three of them one relies on the other. I would say they all work in unison, right? So the intention is the announcement. The declaration is what you want. The intention is how you want to carry it out. And the affirmation for who? For you. Who does it involve? You. So that's answering the who, and that's why you have the I am or the I have statements when making an affirmation. And it's an acknowledgement of what's already happening or what you expect to happen. So that gives a little bit more of a direction of how to set an intention. So if everyone has this down already, you can take a screenshot of the meat and the potatoes of how to bring about your reality. And Jennifer, I saw Jennifer on the screen, and I don't know what that emotion was, Jennifer, but can Jennifer come on? Tell me what that was. Jacqueline, I'm sorry, not Jacqueline, not Jennifer, Jacqueline. You're on mute, honey.
Here we go. What was the question again? I'm sorry, I was typing something to Theodora.
Yeah, I saw you earlier while she was having her experience, having your own experience. So I was asking you, what was that?
Okay, because that was exactly what I was typing to her. I told her that I was thanking her for what she just did, because as a new retiree, I'm in a state of transition. So I'm not exactly sure what my next steps are, but I do know what I have been doing most of my life, and I know what I'm called to do. And sometimes I fight that because I want to do something else. And I keep trying to do something else, and it keeps pulling me back to the same things, no matter where I am. So
what are you called to do, sis?
I'm called to educate. I'm called to be a person that an expression of empathy in the world, and showing people how to be empathetic to others. And I really believe in love and charity. And so my thing is to whoever I touch or whoever I come near, I want to impart that to them, that I am love, and that you are love, and that we are all love, and that we are all expressions of, I'm a little bit, I'm into Christianity. So I'm an expression of Christ in the world. So when I meet with someone or I talk with somebody, I am really trying to help them get to the truth of who they are and to the truth of who I am, because we are mirrors for each other and we are reflections of each other. So I absorb that energy sometimes, and I give energy. I'm very aware of that. And it's been like that for me from a very young age because of things that have happened, and I have been so isolated. So other people's intentions for me have not affected me in that way. I've always had my own communication with my higher power. And so I've been following that path. There were things I wanted to do that I just was directed in another direction, and that's what happened. And it took me a while to accept that. It did. And then once I accepted it and I embraced it and I followed that, once I moved out of that arena of education, and and it's new for me because I just did it in June. But I knew it was coming to an end before I actually put in for my retirement. I knew it was time to transition to something else. But so now I'm in a state where I'm trying to figure out what that something else is. But I know it's still going to involve the same type of energy. I'm just not sure where to put it. And I don't know if Theodora is going through that same thing, like you have that energy and you don't know exactly where to put it, what your next step is going to be. So yeah, I'm in that state of transition. I don't want to call it limbo, just transitioning, because I'm exploring different things. So I'm not 100%.
So your words deceive you.
Yep.
And when you started talking, you said you know what your purpose is and you know what you want to do, but you don't want to do it. Did you say that?
Yeah.
I think I heard you say that. And then you went into a whole description of who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
And how excited you are that you've done it. And now you're retired and you're saying what now?
It's like grieving. It's like a loss, because it's been so much of who I was my entire life that not being in that position anymore is
not being in a position of educator anymore.
Yeah, not being in the classroom, not being able to reach a number of children. I mean, I have my grandchildren that I work with, and I'm even resisting that because it's like I want more time for myself. I want more time to
So what's your declaration for yourself? Bold
from
statement.
from the statements that you had,
No,
or just my statement?
from the statement of all the stuff you just said. What is your statement?
I am appointed and anointed to be a purveyor of truth, empathy, and love. I don't know what else to say about that because I'm not sure how I'm going to present that in the world anymore.
So then that's the intention. That piece would be the intention.
Okay.
So the intention would be around you declaring, what are the 3 dynamics that you said you are? Anointed and appointed to do what?
To be a purveyor of truth,
Truth,
empathy, and love.
empathy, and love. And so the intention statement would be how you're going to carry out or be a demonstration of truth, empathy, and love.
Right. And that's where I am right now
And
trying
that's
to.
what you're trying to figure out right now.
Yes. Thank you.
And all of the different gifts that you have, all of the different ways that you touch, move, and inspire others. You know, even coming on this Wake Up Everybody call, you're getting ready to write to Theodora. So you're getting ready to touch, move, and inspire. You're connecting with her. You're getting ready to relate to her, right? And so the intention, and that may be something that you think with, because I don't think that these things can just be blurted out in an hour, 90-minute workshop. Right. If you've never thought about something, this is where we understand.
Yes.
Because in order to understand it, you got to feel it inside.
Right.
Right. So you know what it is.
Yes.
Right. You know those 3 dynamics: truth, empathy, and I'm sorry, what's the other one?
Love.
And how can I forget that? Truth, empathy, and love. And what you do anywhere, you do everywhere. So who you were in a classroom as the teacher to those children is who you are in the world. And it's how you show up in every circle that you go in. And if it's not, then the work would be to talk about and to focus on where the misalignment is at. If it's not, it would be where you're out of integrity in your life and how you don't show up. But if it is, then you have to do an assessment, a personal assessment of how you're being, right? Like what your beingness looks like when you go to the store. What your beingness is like when you're on Wake Up Everybody. What your beingness is like when you talk to your daughter. What your beingness is like when you talk to your grandkids. I hear parents saying all the time, and I do too, to grandmothers, like to their mother, you ain't do that with us. So the grandparents know how to be a certain way with their grandkids that they weren't with their kids. And most times it's because of experience and wisdom from the experience of, we ain't come with no handbook. But once the grandkids come, it's like now you can see with different eyes. You have some wisdom that you can move through, right? See, it's a process. And there's progress in the process. But that's inner stuff. That's the stuff that happens inside of us first. And then the affirmation piece is being able to make that announcement to the world that this is happening. I declare it, even if it's not happening yet. And so that's the desire. The declaration is the desire piece from the reality creation. So you can write that in the chat. The declaration is your desire. It's what you want to happen, to see, to be, how you want to be.
Yes.
The intention is, it's the how, but it's also the imagination. So when you don't know, Jacqueline, how to do that, you have to bring the law of attraction in, bring in all senses, like smell it, smell what you want it to look like, taste what you want it to look like, see it, feel it, imagine it.
That's the process that I'm going through now.
And intend it to be so.
Yes.
So that's where the intention piece is. And you can affirm what you imagined. And then that is how we work. That's how the universe works together, where all of the laws come together to have you have what you want, because you have inner cooperation that helps you to express the outer declaration.
And I thank you for that. I thank you for that, because that's where I am with my family right now, because I found that I've been able to do that with strangers and with people outside of my family. And it's more of a struggle to do it with my family. So I started with my daughter, and then now I'm still doing that. And I'm working with my mother, and then my husband also. So it's a lot of stuff going on where I'm trying to show up in that way with them, like I have with other people. And you're right, because my own children have said to me, that's not the woman who raised me. That's not the same person who raised me. So yeah, I get that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline. And so, Theodora, how you doing over there? You're on mute. It's sick. Okay.
I'm
how
doing
you-
good because I'm reading the chat and some of the things that they said, and I'm a work in progress.
We all are. We all are. But what was offered to Jacqueline supportive? I didn't
Yes.
get that far with you. Okay. Great. Thank you. And thank you again. Laura Clark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura.
Yes, yeah, morning.
Hi, Mama Laura, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thanks.
That's good. What is a declaration that you are making to the universe?
A declaration. Oh, I am healing past residue and patterns of trauma. I am declaring that I am self-love.
Okay. And your intention?
Well, my intention is to heal from within, to share my lessons and experiences with others on their healing journey.
Ashe. And what do you affirm about that for yourself, for others?
The affirmation is who?
Yeah. The who is you.
Okay. I am making all the efforts I can to heal. I'm making all the efforts. I'm putting everything in place, lining up my ducks to heal. I've made my commitment and I'm working on these commitments.
How about I am committed to heal?
Okay. I am committed to heal.
And I am healing.
And I am healing.
Ashe. Ashe.
Thank you, Ia.
Thank you, Laura. So I just ask that you put the slide up one more time, Kanyofu. Thank you, Laura. The one that has a definition.
You're welcome.
The slide with the definitions. Okay. So again, the tools of reality creation are desire. That's your declaration, what you want. Imagine. That's the intention and how you're going to carry that out. And expect. And that's your affirmation. It's about you. So you use I am or I have statements, and it's the acknowledgement that it already took place. And the reason that it aligns with the innerstanding is because when you try to get to a place that you innerstanding is being able to stand tall inside of yourself. When someone asks a question that you're able to not answer off the top of your head, not try to get it right, not try to say what you think somebody wants you to say, but to speak from your heart, that your soul is connected to what you're saying. and that you're honoring yourself when you do so. And so this will be fleshed out more as it flushes out more through me, because I too am your reflection, and I like to share where I'm at. And this is one of the places in my life of my own process that I have grown and still have areas to grow. And so I thank you for rocking with me for as long as you did today. And I thank you again, Wake Up Everybody community. And I am complete for today. Thank you.
You know what's so deep for me, is that it doesn't feel complete to me. It's like, okay. I think there's more there.
For
And
me, or for like, I don't. Please, let's do more if there's more.
I yeah, it doesn't feel complete to me. So I don't know if it's speaking to someone else and moving them through the
Okay.
process, or you sharing more about where you are with your own struggle and your journey, and maybe discovering what's next in this process. But it's so
Okay.
powerful, just talking to folks about the difference between understanding and understanding. And as you were sharing with Jacqueline, and it's connected to Theodora too, I'm like, we would benefit so much from releasing that our purpose is tied to a title and to doing, right? That
Mhm.
beingness that you spoke about. So Jacqueline, you said it to her, like, you've been living your purpose and operating from that I am energy since you stepped into this virtual space. You do
Yeah.
it every single time you come. And I believe that you going, like E.R. Robin said, going to the grocery store, being love. What were the other two words that she had? And Jacqueline, you can unmute to remind of what you said. A purveyor of
Truth and empathy.
truth, truth and empathy. And look at you, pouring libation again from that face, that beautiful face. And I'm like, in the grocery store, when they pull you over to give you a ticket because you're speeding, it's like, damn, I gotta be the purveyor of truth and love. And
Mm-mm.
even when I feel like I'm being disrespected, I have to bring that. And I've said this in this space, when I was standing before the community, when Shamani passed and at her homegoing, I'm like, be your purpose. What does her dying have to do with you? What it has to do with my purpose is to keep living it, right? So even when I'm sucker punched in the gut, being my purpose is what I gave my word to. And so it doesn't matter if you're in a position, or if there's somebody calling you principal or head teacher or doctor, because I know that's the pursuit, that you be it no matter what, Theodora.
Mm.
The nurse everywhere, right? Um, so that's what's coming up for me, that there are breakthroughs inside of just operating from that energy each and every day in every way, on phone calls, whatever you're doing, and not be so tied up in it has to be structured. I need to call this something. I need an LLC. That may be one of the things you do, but your purpose is the beingness. And then all the ways it manifests is by virtue of you being that vibration every day. Then the stuff will unfold as you conceive and give birth to the purpose and all that you do. So, yeah, what comes up for you? Where do you want to go? Because I don't want to hijack your session, but I'm like, this ain't over.
Yeah, I want to talk about my process.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just in the spirit of transparency, thank you for bringing it back as well. My work is dear to me, and I do know my purpose, which is to educate myself first and then others, empower myself first and then others, and facilitate healing for myself first and then others. And so this download of educate, the 7-step process, I've worked through it on so many different levels, right? The you being the understanding, which aligns with this particular piece called Innerstanding. Being able to stand in my truth. In order to understand it, I ask God, like, what does that mean to understand something? And Terry is on here right now, one of my friends, and she was all flustered because she was like, what does understanding mean? People say understand and overstand, and I don't get none of it. Right? So I know I have an inner knowing of what understanding is. And my challenge is being able to express what understanding is externally. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to, I want to convey what I know, not in my head, but in my heart and in my spirit. And I feel like I'm not doing it justice. And so this is part of the process. So as I said, I've grown in the process, but where the way I want to convey it, it is not coming out the way that I want to convey it. So the reason that I said I'm complete, Iya, is because where I am right now, there's more processing to do. Is it making sense what I'm saying to you?
Yes, and I'm like, what does that got to do with this community and what they need?
I felt like I wasn't doing justice for them. So that core belief of not being good enough,
Ashe.
that is what came up.
Got it. Wow. Thank you for your honor. But I love that's who we are, how you are. Let's see what's out there because I see that Amal and Teresa have their hand up. And
Okay.
yeah, it's whoa, it's like let me cut this shit off because
I'm like, I'm jacking them up even more. That's literally what went in my head. And I'm like,
oh my God. And that's far from the truth.
Yeah, that's what I do to myself. So, I teach what I'm learning to master. And so I'm grateful that I have people in my life like you that will call me, pull me back, and reel me back in because I can do that. I can sabotage experiences like that by allowing that core belief to dominate and to live before I, check in and allow myself to express out.
Okay.
So, thank you.
So let me ask a question before we bring the ladies in. You asked about the beingness, and we got that from Sister Jacqueline. Mm-hmm. So what about yours? Like being, and it's not being masterful, facilitator, coach, or whatever. Those are the roles and the doings of it. But like your being statements about this work that you do, what are they?
Mm-hmm. I am a powerful, authentic, responsible leader.
Mm-hmm. So being authentic, being responsible, being leader, not the title, but the vibration.
I share that vibration, right?
Yeah. Because we get twisted. Like
I could get that there. That focusing on the title and the vibration of just being a leader, that is also an area for growth for me. Just be the leader. Just show up. That's really all that I need to do when I'm being the leader. But when I'm focused on not doing it right, when I'm focusing on not being understood, when I'm focused on my own personal judgments about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, it's easy for me to go straight to the title leader and talk about how I'm not being that to myself.
Right. So being leader, what does the world look like when you're being leader, the energy and vibration, not the role or the title?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
All right. What does the world that you show up in look like? Like when you show up in a room and you're being leader, not being the leader, but being leader, what does that room look like? And this question's for everybody.
That room has elevation. That room, there's consciousness lifts. That room may look like libations through the eyes, but that room is a release. The room brings truth. The room is filled with love because people are able to see themselves, reflect on themselves, share with one another. They have compassion for one another. There's empathy in the room.
Yes.
Forgiveness exists. People come alive and realize that they were just surviving.
Ashe. You know what comes up for me too is that when you're being leader, the ancestors speak through you.
Ashe.
Yeah. You're a vessel when you're being leader. They're like, oh, we can go there. And ego is removed and you're just pure light. And just all that stuff you said shows up is because you're being being the vessel too, being a vessel. I've seen you be a vessel so many times, you know, in so many different ways, as EI, as sister, as daughter, as my friend. Like I said, I was thinking about you all day. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so in love with EI Robin. Right now, we're in the season, I feel like a love fest season for
I
our
know, me too. Me too.
you know, so just beautiful. And what do you get when you're being leader as the vibration?
I vibrate right back off of it, and I get all of those because of the vessel that I'm allowing myself to be. I gain the benefits of. It's for me first. So those inner feelings, those inner thoughts, those inner ideas, I experience them. I have an experience of them, which is how I'm able to demonstrate them outside of myself.
Beautiful. So it makes me go back to Theodora. When you're being nurse or being healer as opposed to being a nurse, what comes up out into the world? Like, I'm write it down, contemplate it. Just the invitation is to really take that on. Yeah, Robin just walked us through it. And
that is something I don't have to contemplate. The nursing part in me is it was me and God that went in and nursed a lot of people in a lot of different areas, and I didn't stay in one area of nursing. I worked on one job for over 35 years, but worked in so many different departments within that one job.
Right. Because when
you that one facility. So
yeah.
I wasn't in a box as far as nursing was concerned. I didn't work in one area for 35 years. I moved around. And I guess it's a part of me because I love what I do. I love my patients. And I don't think that puts me in a box. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking about her and leader and what she's saying, because I was just a past president for National Council, and sometimes you feel you have, as the leader, you have it kind of taken all right, but you have some people that come in and challenge you, and it makes you have to stand up straighter and drive a little better. So yeah.
Yeah, you know,
it helped me, and I want to thank you. And it's because sometimes you're not clear and that's truthful, some of the questions, and you really have to ponder them and think of the answer.
All right. And I just want you to notice that you switched from I statements when you talked about how you showed up as the vibration of nurse for people to you statements and outside of yourself when you started talking about being in that group and what they thought of you and how they judged you. You just switched so quickly.
Yeah.
And when you sink into the vibration of nurse and healer, you're being your fully expressed self, and you don't have to process a lot. But when you start talking about being a nurse in front of other people, it switches over to a low vibration, and it takes you somewhere else outside of yourself, actually.
Being a nurse or being a leader? Because I was talking about being a leader in the other area, which took me outside of myself. Being a nurse is the I statement.
And let me offer this, and then I'll hand it back over to E.I. Robin. What if you took on the energy and vibration of being a nurse, being nurse energy in that group too? It's not separate. Like I said, when the cop pulls you over, if your declaration is to be, like Jacqueline, a purveyor of love, you take the ticket in love. Not to say you become a victim or you like just take anything people give to you, but it's just like
when I didn't feel like a victim. I just felt that I wasn't as adequate. I wasn't as adequate as I needed to be. So I had to step up my game is a way of, when people challenge you, you have to either you have to do better.
Yeah, anything?
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. Before you held me accountable to show it up. That's how I felt. I felt like I felt inadequate. And so you're saying what I just said, but there's always a way to, jump back in focus on the I, you know? And yeah, Shawnee said, what does what I'm saying about what's going on for me have to do with the community? This is the Wake Up Everybody community, and I'm having my own damn experience, and I'm like, I'm done, y'all. I'll see you later. This is us. So, you know, she reeled my ass back in. Thank you. I wasn't even looking at it like that. I was just like, this is not working. Flop, fail. You know, so it's all good. But we
it
get
was
to
a failure because it wasn't. I don't think it was a failure because it definitely wasn't.
Thank you. I can do that too, over exaggerate, right? But it's always applicable, and it's always an opportunity to come back. It's always an opportunity to laugh at ourselves. It's always an opportunity to say, hey, I could have did that better, and still
Always.
in the moment, right? So I'm just really grateful. I'm really grateful. You know, I was in a program once, a personal development program, and when a moment like that would happen, they would tell you to do a Wonder Woman spin. And I'm like, what the hell is that gonna do? But I swear to God, that works. Like stand up and like this. You just turn around like Wonder Woman. And I was like, oh, okay, I released that. Dust it off your shoulders, keep it moving. So, you know, we in this thing together. And the beauty of it is that when we can be elevated and uplifted by our, you know, now if you're with people that's going to bring you down and stress you out, then the outcomes are going to be just that. But I got some dope ass sisters. I got a dope community. I have people who see me, who know me, who elevate me and continue to encourage me to elevate. And that's who I am to them as well. And as long as we keep on holding each other accountable for being our greatness, for showing up in the world, for sharing the maternal energy that is us, but focusing and leaning on the ancestors, as Iya Shawnee said, when I get out of my way, they just come through my mouth. They come through the pen on the paper. They speak through me, to me, as me, and I don't give that acknowledgement enough. So I'm grateful once again that the ancestors were brought into this experience and that they tapped Iya Shawnee on the neck and said, get her ass, because she's bugging out again. And here we are. And so I'm grateful, and I do feel complete now. So how do you feel, Iya? Do you feel complete?
Well, Kinyofu just shared that there was a comment that came in from Facebook. So I just want to make sure that we give the Facebookers an opportunity to be heard.
Sure. Hi, Facebook. Sorry I didn't acknowledge you before.
Yeah. So Kinyofu, if you can come off mute, and Iya, I have to step away for a few minutes. I'm
okay.
coming right back, but I just wanted to let you know I's here.
I's here. You complete, sis?
Yes.
All right. That's complete now. All right. Thank you. I love you.
Love you.
Okay. All right, Robin. So John Love on Facebook asks, how do we break out of deep-rooted conditioning? And I also want to drop in that it's 8:29 now.
Okay. All right. So John Love, thank you for that question. That is a process too. How do we first we have to call a thing, right? And so the deep-rooted conditioning, do you know what it is? I mean, I can't like physically talk to you right now, but if you know what that deep-rooted conditioning is, you have to call it what it is. I was conditioned to think that I shouldn't wear a skirt to church. I was conditioned to believe that all men are dogs. I was conditioned to believe that all women are I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of. Martyrs. Right. And so when you know what those things are, and there's a process to finding out what it is, I'll come and chat with you on Facebook, Jalove. So, you know, after this, I'll come on Facebook to get some clarity on what it is, and maybe we can have a private conversation about it. But there is a process, and I have a 9-month program because sometimes that process doesn't happen in an hour and 30 minutes. So thank you for asking. Kinyofu. And that's why I'm the cycle breaker too, Jalove. So we can get to that place. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be offering again the personal genogram workshop. So some of you that have taken it, you have gotten Teresa said she's amazed by the shift. Me too. Some of you have taken the class, the workshop, the personal genogram workshop. A genogram is a tool that will support you in identifying the emotional traumas and the emotion and any stagnation or generational patterns in your family. The workshop is valued at $300. I'm offering it to I'm offering it to this community for $150, and one person will receive a scholarship. So Kenyofu or Charmaine or Kenyofu, can you please select the number?
You select the number and then I will count the person.
Yep, I'm trying to think. 11 is my number, and I was going to only offer the scholarship to one person, but Spirit is saying offer it to two. So 11 and 22.
Okay, give me a second.
In this workshop, you will also come present to some of the things that are similar between you and your grandmother, you and your mother, what you're doing to your children, and you get to make a conscious choice on how to move forward in order to create new legacies. You get to make you get to have conscious awareness of what was, what is, and what you're creating.
Okay, so 11 is John Carl Martin.
Yay.
And 22 is actually 21, because that 22nd person is not here outside of the admin.
Gotcha.
And that would be Zakia.
Zakia, okay. Do they accept the offer?
I would like to give it to my sister Aquia.
Aquia?
Aquia Doreen. AQUA Doreen.
I am also here, Robin, and I accept.
Okay. Thank you, John.
This is Aquia Doreen, and I accept. Thank you.
Thank you, Aquia. I will, can you guys just send your information in the chat, or well, actually, can you get in touch with me and I will send you my information? I mean, I will send you. Thank you. And so there are ways to contact me. You can contact me on Facebook at Robin St. Clair. You can connect with me on Instagram at Robin the Cycle Breaker. And my email address is robin@Robin St. Clair. My website is www.robinstclair. It's the world of Robin. Next slide. Love offerings, donations. So the love offerings will go to soulleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com or Spirit of a Woman. And my code is 178 RSC. Why love donations? Because if you received anything, if you were impacted in any way, if I have touched, moved, inspired you by being in my own shit in any kind of way, I would love the reciprocity. And money is energy. Money is another area that I have, the money story is another area for growth for me. And so to be able to stand here and to say boldly that I thank you in advance for the reciprocity of your monetary donation, because money comes to me easily and effortlessly from known and unknown sources of income. That's a new thing. And I thank you. And we offer these donations to Spirit of a Woman, Soul Leadership Development. They're going to one hub, but after received by the hubs, in the two hubs, but after received by the hubs, then they will be given to the facilitator, which is me. So 178 RSC is my code. Don't get it twisted. There's other RSs. So RSC, that's me. And I thank you in advance. Oh, who we got next? So who's up next? We have on October 21st, that's tomorrow, we have Kyra Harris, and she's doing a session on, do you have a sweet tooth? I have a sweet tooth. The negative effects of sugar, part 1. Don't miss that. And then on Thursday, October 22nd, we'll be streaming again on Zoom with Robin Stone, another Robin, RS, and writing your way forward. And that's going to support us in, seeing what we're saying. I don't know what she got, but writing your way forward, I know I'm definitely going to be there for that one because I love to write. And we'll be there for both of these facilitators. Thank you. And just to go back to what our new setup is, we have Zoom live workshops on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursdays at 7 to 8:30. It will be right there on the Zoom platform, this platform. And on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 to 7:30, we will be on Zoom. On Facebook Live. Is that correct?
No, you're right. You're right. We're back on Zoom for Monday and Wednesday as well.
Oh, okay. And then we're sharing that with the Facebook community. We share all of it with the Facebook community. Yep. I'm getting it. We're streaming live on Facebook, y'all. So thank you and stay in touch. bit.ly.wakeupmovement. The register there for all of our sessions. Our Facebook community is bit.ly WE community. Our Instagram is @wakeupseries. On YouTube, we are bit.ly woo on YouTube, and an email address is info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. We still have the thing pinned, I think.
Yeah. Shawnee, can you take Robin off a pin? I don't have the host or Charmaine. And that's removing spotlight. So in any event, regardless of you being in gallery view or not, we can still love on you. So everybody come off of mute. You have to unmute yourself. Or Charmaine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And Robin, you are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Robin, you rock, baby. Let me tell you.
Thank you.
I don't
Thank
care
you so
what
much,
your
Robin.
hand
This was
is.
beautiful.
love you
I look
guys.
forward to your workshop.
You helped us this morning.
Thank
Our
you.
thinking,
Thank you.
our
Thank you. Thank
mind.
you.
I appreciate
And again, amazing job from the
Appreciate
admins.
ourselves. We
and
appreciate
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I heard you,
Love
We
you.
John. That's
appreciate you. We
always
love
on
you.
Thank
here.
you.
Love this
Looking forward
And
to
then
your
love
next
and
community. Love
blessings
what
to
you
everybody.
gave us.
I know you're coming back.
Girl, you
Thank
rock,
you.
you rock, you rock, you rock, you rock, you rock, you rock.
Go
Yes, you rock,
Teresa.
girl.
Go Teresa.
Hey, you rock.
Old song.
You rock, baby. You rock. You rock.
Thank you,
Oh my
darling.
You
gosh.
the
I
one,
love
baby.
you
You
all
the
so
one for
much.
this
Thank you,
job. You the one
Robin.
that's
Let's
called
make
for
it
this
rain
job.
for
Thank
Robin.
you.
Let's make it rain
Woo!
for all that she gives us
Yeah.
and all that she is and all that she
Yes.
does. You are so, so exquisite. And I love
You
you
are.
I
from the
love
bottom
you.
of my heart.
I
I
love
love
you
you.
too. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
I love
Thank
all of you
you.
brothers. Yes, I do.
Thank
I
y'all
love
for
You are
rocking with
Love you
me.
beautiful.
all.
Woo!
Love this whole
Beautiful.
family.
In,
Just
through, and
glowing,
as
child.
Love you.
myself.
Flowing and glowing, man. Woo!
Thank you.
Yes, don't you
Thank
doubt yourself.
you.
You the one for
Thank
this job,
you,
girl.
Iya.
You the one for this
Thank you for
job.
your
Yes, you are.
courage to
Love you.
Thank
have
you.
us grow with you on
Yep.
your journey.
And I love you. I love all
Everybody
y'all.
have a beautiful day.
Everyone that's on here. I love y'all. Shiny. All of y'all love y'all.
Teresa, Teresa, your
Great day,
gift
everybody.
is
You preaching.
amazing.
What happened?
You preaching.
I
Yeah.
am. Because that's what I'm called to do, is to be a preacher. And I ain't been preaching. That's what my problem is.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's what my problem is. But I'm getting back to what I'm called to be doing. That's what it is.
Wow.
But I got a new way of preaching now, because I'm including my ancestors, which I didn't honor them before. Like you said today about honoring David and Abraham. Why not honor my grandmother, my mom, and all of them? That's craziness. These people is crazy what they think, and I love what you said today. Appreciate it. Love y'all. Mwah.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a good
Yes,
day,
ma'am.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Blessings all.
Great
A
day
wonderful
to
day, though.
everyone. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
People think.
Looks like we all have to leave on our own because nobody's cutting it off.
Charmaine, you can press.
You off.
Charmaine, Charmaine, you can press end now.
Can you do it, Kenyofa?
No, I can't. Charmaine, come off of mute. What's happening? She left. Okay, great. Well, we'll all just press leave meeting.
We'll all leave.
All right.